I wasn't interested in riding at Brands Hatch or Donington Park or Imola or anywhere like that. I wanted to ride the TT course, and obviously the easiest route into it for an amateur was the Manx Grand Prix. It does help you being from the island, you know the road, you know, initially, but as you get faster and faster, you get more lads that are more experienced than you as well, so they know it just as well. Initially it did help me, I must admit, but then when you get to the trying to win it, it's a little bit different. You know, it's you know, everybody else on the start line knows it just as equally as well as me. So yeah. It was amazing to go out in the first lap and stuff, because like it's been your dream to, you know, it's like someone letting you, you know, go and spend your first £10 of your wages and blow it. But I struggled the night before, because ultimately it'd be my dream. That's all I'd ever wanted to do. I'd never wanted to be a brain surgeon or a bank manager or anything. All I wanted to do was ride race my motorbike around the TT course. And I struggled a little bit because I thought, what happens if I go out and I'm rubbish at it? And I'd be like, right, what do I do with my life now? Right, okay, what do I do? So it was actually the night before I really panicked and couldn't sleep, and you're restless and thinking, oh no, you know, what happens if, you know, all these things. And I wasn't thinking about I'm going to hurt myself. All I was thinking about was if I'm not fast enough. You know, if I go out and I've tried my best and I go around at 70 mile an hour, I'll be like devastated. It'd be just like complete devastation. So to actually get out on your first lap, it's like freedom. It's like you just like, yeah, like the lion's released from the cage, like, rah, and you can just get on with it. And it's such an immense feeling to fulfill your dream. I'm all getting excited now just thinking about it, because it is just so intense. It's just that dream. And what makes the riding the TT course so special is the fact that you're on your own. Like you've done all these other races beforehand for years and years and years since you were yay high. You know, you've done schoolboy motocross, and you've always started with 30 or 40 other lads, and they're always by you, you know, in the near you. There's always a bike near you, either in front of you or behind you. Whereas when you first set off down Bray Hill, you're on your own. And it's just like that, it's that feeling of, it's my own personal racetrack. You've not got some bloke in front of you slowing you down, you're like, get me way, get me, you know, and whereas it's literally just that feeling of freedom, and oh yeah, that's easy. In '95, my first year, I crashed. I crashed in my first year. I broke my Callan's lap record on the second night of practice, and then I fell off then on the Thursday night, broke my leg, my arm, did all sorts of things. And I always remember one of the lads in the pub saying, oh, that's it now, then you'll give it up now then, won't you? And I was like, no, why would I? Oh, well, it's hurt you, you know, when you're badly injured. And I was like, that's the last thing on my mind is to give up. You know, I wanted to, you know, win it. That was the thing. So I was like, right, now I need to win this. So 96 was my first year after that. And then I just thought, right, I says, I don't want to crash this year. So I was like, right, now I'm going to try and stay on the bike this year, get a decent result. I got finished like 5th or 6th, I think it was. I thought, oh, that's all right, under the belt now, steady away, that's it. And then so 97, then I was going to win it. That's the plan, I was going to win it, but I fell off at the Sun 100 and broke my shoulder. So that was that out. So I was like, oh God, another step back now. I went to, like, I thought, right, 98, I'm going to really do well. Martin Bullock, my sponsor at the time, he bought me a brand new motorbike as well to do it, which was damn decent of him. Do you know what I mean? There's not many people that do that. It was my first time to ride the 600 as well at the Manx that year. So I finished, I think, 5th or 6th on the 600, and I finished 2nd on the 250, but I didn't win it. I was like, The 99 Manx Grand Prix was a special time for me, really. It was, like I say, I was really focused on winning it, and I was riding good at the time. You know, I had a bit more experience under my belt. I wasn't cocky with it, but I was confident. I knew that I was going to win. You know, I knew, it's one of those things. I know you should never count your eggs before the hatch, but I just knew that, maybe I wanted it more than anybody else, I don't know, but I just knew that I was going to win it.
The junior entrants had been waiting to take to the grid for the start of the scheduled 4-lap race. Pundit predictions seemed to waver between Yule Duncan and Alistair Howarth, with Milky Quayle and Keith Townsend also favoured for a win.
The junior race was the first race, the 600 race. There was me and Yule Duncan. I knew he was going to be fast. He was Davy Wood, one of Davy Wood's protégés, so I knew he was going to be really on it, on a good bike, good team. He would want to win it as well, so was my threat, but I thought, right, no, I'm going to have him, this is mine, and I'm having this. So yeah, the 600 race was really good. Unfortunately, he crashed. I was leading it, then he'd lead it at the next station, then I'd lead it, then he'd lead it, and then he crashed at Glen Helen, just on the exit on the negative camber, just high-sided, and that pretty much handed me the race then. I was like, oh, no, that's not all right then. So, but then they cut the race short because the mist came in, so they cut it down to a 2-lap race. And the mist was quite low on the first lap, but it didn't hinder you, but then the mist came down even further then on the second lap, and it was getting right down. I thought, ooh. And I thought, yeah, it could spoil it, it could change it. So then I thought, well, no, let's just carry on, let's carry on. And then I literally got to Governor's Bridge and I saw a marshal running out with a sign saying race reduced. So at the end of the second lap, I was due to come into the pits anyway. So as I came out of Governor's, I gunned it. I looked over to my left and I saw a marshal in the pit lane with a yellow flag. And I knew that then obviously that the pit lane was closed. So then I looked to my right, saw the checkered flag, Andy Fern with a checkered flag. I was like, right, get in there. So I knew I'd won it then. So it was like, yeah, so I knew, yeah, I was relieved at that. So then I won that one on the Wednesday. So then I had the lightweight race on the Friday. So the pressure was off then, because I'd won one. So it was like, oh, well, yeah, happy days. Again, in that race, I really knew there was only one real person that was going to challenge me, was going to be Pete Turnbull. He was a good rider as well, good bike, good setup, fast, done it for a while. And he started number 2, I started number 1, he started number 2, so he started with me. At that time he started in pairs. Off the start line, came down into Quarterbridge. He got a better start than me as always, because I was rubbish at starting. And so I nailed him into Quarterbridge. I thought, right, I'll just get in front of him, get around. And then I came out of Glen Helen, up Blamfell, and he passed me. I was like, oh, right, he's still there then. I thought, right, he wants a race, so that was it then. So I pulled the pin completely then. I was like, right, let's go for it, he wants a race. So some fella showed me a picture of me going through the top of Bigarrow, and I'd gapped him by 100 yards, even but just that short distance. So I just completely nailed it to Ramsey, because I knew as soon as I dropped him, he wouldn't follow me. He couldn't, you know, he'd lose time even more then. So sure enough then, once he had dropped off me by Ramsey, I had it in the bag effectively. So not had it in the bag, but I still had 3 more laps to do, but I just had to then just make sure that obviously the bike looked after, you know, keep my temperature, watch my temperature, make sure it doesn't get too hot, make sure the pit stop works good. And John McGuinness was my pit crew at the time. He was my pit man as well. He was the man on my fuel, and he nearly lost me the race, because he was a fuel man and he had a rag, and he left the rag on the tank. And I set off down Bray Hill, start a 3rd lap. This rag had then come off the tank, slipped off the tank and went down onto the back wheel, and it was a big streaming rag. So they were going to black flag me at the bottom of Alexander Drive, but luckily enough the rag came off.
And Milky Quayle leading Pete Turnbull by 25 seconds at the end of lap 2. It was almost over as Richard Quayle reaches Governor's Bridge for the last time and acknowledges the cheers as he heads out to the dip and up to the finish line. He's greeted for the second time by Andy Fern with a checkered flag. This time he'd won over a full race distance.
Yeah, to win that one, and I broke the lap record on the second lap as well, 150 mile an hour on treaded tyres in '99 the lap record stayed for like 17, 18 years. So it was a good time. At the time, the TT, I'd finished like 4th in the TT on that speed, on treads. So I finally thought that I had a drive then. I thought, yeah, I've put me stamp on, you know, it hurt me before, the course had already hurt me. And that was a bit of payback. It was like, right, yeah, thank you very much. You know, because that's the thing, you've got to respect the place, you know, you've got to respect it. And to win the double at the Manx, you know, again, as a Manx man, is your dream. Just, it is your dream. It's, you know, as a Manxman, it's what you want to do, isn't it? Yeah.